Now we don't just have this global guard though. This before each function here will run on every navigation action, no matter which route is being used, no matter from which route we go to which other route. This will always run. Sometimes this is what you need, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just want to protect individual routes. You could do this, of course, with the if check here, where you check your to and from route objects to also run different logic based on different routes. But you can also set up the before each navigation guard on single routes. For example, on users, let's say. For that, you simply go to your users route config, and here you can add before enter. Not before each, because now it technically is just one route. Before enter is a method here as well, and just as before each, it gets to, from, and next. So here I console log users before enter, and maybe also console log to and from if you want to, and then call next to confirm it, or do whatever you want to do with next. Next works just as I explained it on the global before each navigation guard. Here I'm just confirming every navigation to users. And now this will be called whenever we go to users. So if I save that and reload, if I go to users, we see global before each, because that still executes. After all, it executes for every navigation action. But we also see users before enter, and then the output of to and from for this page. To, of course, is pointing at the users page, because that before enter hook was registered for the users page. Now, in case you don't want to register this on the route level or in your route config, you can also add a new hook, a new method inside of your component. Let's say in the users list component. Here in your component config object, you can add all those view lifecycle methods like created or mounted, and you can also add the before route enter method. If you use the view router, which we do, this will be called before navigation to this component is confirmed. And here again, you get to, from, and next, and therefore we can do what we did before. We can console log users list component before route enter. We can then console log to and from, of course, and we can call next or run any logic we want to run to confirm or deny navigation to next or redirect the user. And with that, if I go to Teams, reload, clear the console, and go to users, we see global before each, and then to and from, users before enter, and then to and from, and then users list component before route enter. And that's the order in which these navigation guards execute. Global is always first, then the route config level, and then the component level. All of these hooks run before the route is confirmed though, which is why you can and have to call next to confirm it manually or deny it or redirect the user somewhere else. We got two other guards related to loading a component. One is the before route update guard, which you call directly inside of a component. To be precise, inside of components which are reused, which in our case would be the team members component. Here we got the parameter, the team ID parameter, and it's absolutely possible that we are on the page of one team and we load another team members page. And then this team members page never leaves the screen and hence is reused, as you learned. In such cases, view router will call another nice method in the component config object. Maybe here, next to created. There you can add the before route update method, and view will call this method whenever this component is about to be reused with new data because the route changed. So here we also get to, from, and next. And then you can also deny or confirm the navigation just as you know it, just as I explained it before on the global before each hook. It's the same here. And besides that, of course, you can utilize to and from, for example, to call load team members based on the new team ID param, which you get on the to be navigated to route object. Now, of course, we already have logic in place here to handle the changing team ID route parameter in this component, so we don't need before route update for that. But using before route update would be an alternative to watching the team ID prop, for example. Though, of course, with that hook, we again bind this component to be used with routing. We used props instead of route params to make this component more flexible. When we use this alternative, we would make it less flexible because this is only called if this component is loaded and reloaded through routing, of course. But now this would be an alternative, and with that we can console log team members component before route update here, and console log to and from if we want to, and then save everything. And now if I go to a different team, we see before route update runs, and well, then our logic in there runs, which we don't need here, but I want to show you this hook, of course. I'm going to comment this out though, because we are already loading team members when the team ID changes. We don't need to do this twice. But that is another navigation guard, or another navigation hook, you could also call it, that is worth knowing.